Staff Mastery starts here right now. Grab your staff. This is the newest workout in this series. We're going to go over all the things that we've gone over before, and we're going to add to it just a little bit, mostly with ideas. I want you to think about things in a certain way, but not until after you've gotten some experience. So this is our fifth workout together. We're twisting as a warm-up. Start to get blood flowing into the joints. You want to stay safe from injury. You're also building speed, strength, power in your strikes and your blocks. Because ultimately, I want you to be able to defend yourself with your bow or your other martial arts long staff. Maybe you use the Korean jongbong or the Chinese bong, the gun. Doesn't matter what style, maybe silambam from India. Whatever it is, spinning is cool. It's awesome. It's great cross-training. You also have to be able to defend yourself with it. Morning. You're just going side to side. We're warming up. That's 30 seconds per hand. And then you're going to go from one side to the other side. This is the last day with this black staff. I'm going to cut it down today, strip all the paint off with a sandpaper, oil it up, and I'm going to cut it and make a Joe. I'm going to start doing more Joe videos. You've been asking me for those. That's the medium-sized staff. So you're just going out, from side to side. It's a quick tip. If you want to find your center of your staff and help you learn faster, sometimes you put a piece of tape there so that as you start to work on spins, you can see where the center is going so you can train yourself to slide back to the center. So we're going out from side to side. After you warm up a little bit, for this workout today, I want you to start to bring your staff up, overhead, and do that same spin. Squat a little bit. I don't have my camera that high today. You're going to go side to side over the head as part of the workout today. So you're strengthening, you're warming up. Greetings. After that basic warm-up, go overhand spin. You're going to do this overhand butterfly. Now this is my right hand. It turns all the way out. The left hand slides down. That thumb along the forearm. You can see when that happens, see where that puts the center? But then it goes back into the right hand. The center's back mostly in the center of my palm, which is why it stays in balance. It stays in the center as I'm spinning it. After 30 seconds here, bring that to a stop. This is how you stop it. Push it back the other way, and you're spinning the other direction. Yeah, send me an email. It's info@quantumstrong.com. I was just on Facebook. I saw a lot of people are sending me messages on Facebook. I appreciate that. I don't check it that often. I just upload stuff and then I go. If you want to reach out, love to hear from you. I want to see your videos. I want to see how you're training. I want to hear where you need some help. I would love to give feedback. If I can be useful, I want to be useful. Send me that email though, info@quantumstrong.com. After 30 seconds going in this direction, go back into one hand, and you're going to figure eight spin in front of the body, into the back of the body. This is my left hand. That's that sideways figure eight, also known as an infinity sign. We call this an endless spin for that reason. Because it carves the infinity sign and it doesn't stop, we call it endless. I'm going 30 seconds per spin today. That's what I want you to do. More than that, we don't get everything in. Less than that, your body doesn't change and grow. After a while, after 30 seconds, bring it into the other hand. Comes right into the center. So forward. And when you think forward, think of slicing, striking forward, coming down, pushing, pulling back, pushing down, pulling back. Mostly the weight of the staff, the momentum, is going to do the work. You're just going to direct it once you get it going. Now, this is one of the questions you asked me recently. How do you increase speed? And it's two things here. And one of you mentioned that it looks like when my spin is faster, my hands are closer to the body. And that's true. That is true. And also, where it is in relation to the height. If it's higher, if it's in the middle, if it's lower, that's all going to affect how fast you can spin it. That doesn't mean you can't spin it fast in all three levels, but that means one level is going to be naturally faster first, and that has to do with the strength of your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your hands. And so you have to be patient with yourself. If you're a beginner or intermediate, you simply might need more time, but you're going to get there. The second thing are the core muscles. When you're pulling your stomach up and in means up towards your diaphragm or the bottom of your ribs, and then in that belly button, you're pulling it back toward the spine, shoulders back and down. The core muscles are engaged, your posture's better, but then you tie the upper body and the lower body, your legs, your arms, everything becomes one unit. So you move more efficiently, and that efficiency of movement is what increases your speed. So make sure you're doing that. Now, go back to the first hand. I want you to reverse that sideways figure eight, pulling this way, pulling this way. Think of a blocking or deflecting strike or blocking motion, but you're pulling it up. And sometimes, this is what I did at the beginning. I would be thinking that I'm doing a reverse spin, but my hand twisted some weird way, and I'm doing it forward again. You're gonna find that that happens when you're a beginner. The way to check for that is to stop yourself, watch it, go forward, stop in the middle, and then carve it back in the opposite direction. So every once in a while, check yourself. Make sure that you're really going in reverse and that your hand hasn't flipped in some weird way and you think you are. After about 30 seconds here, bring it over to the other hand and pull it out on that other side. Pulling, twisting, stomach up and in, abs tight. Starting to increase the speed, strength. Remember two things. One, give yourself time. It's going to happen with daily practice. Ask Vic. He'll tell you he got much faster in a very short period of time. There's a saying that we often underestimate how long something takes, but we also underestimate how doing a little bit every day shortens that time. That's probably not the saying, but you understand what I mean, right? That's the truth. If you do a little bit every day, that's why these are 30 seconds and then the next, 30 seconds and the next. From 30 seconds, I go to the next move. And if you do it every day, your whole workout might only be 5 to 10 minutes a day. Sometimes that's all I have to do anything. Any one thing, start to finish, I get 10 minutes on it at the most. But when it's valuable to me, when it's valuable to you, and you invest that 10 minutes a day, it adds up so fast, and you'll be shocked at how much you can do over time. It's not gonna happen overnight. That's where you need patience. Now I'm doing this forward spin, and I brought it to the side of the body. So here, it's to the side. I'll be looking this way, where you did this at the beginning, and you're coming here because I want you to start to develop the muscles on the side and the back of that shoulder. You have three heads of the muscle, one that comes here in the front, one on the side, and one on the back. Most people are strong. When they're strong in the shoulders, they're strong here because of push-ups or because of the bench press, exercises in the gym. But they're strong here, and they're really weak here. And that instability leads to injury. That's not you. You're gonna have wicked strong shoulders all the way around, all three heads. And this is one of the exercises that's gonna get you there. 30 seconds here, bring it into the other hand, out to the side, to the front, to the back. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad they can be of some use, some value to you. Start to increase your speed. Remember the trick of the abs. It's not really a trick, it's proper technique, right? Stomach coming in, abs tight, shoulders back and down. Breathe through your nose. Tuck your chin just a little. Not down, just a tuck, tiny bit. Imagine someone's trying to punch your face. If your chin's down, it's hard for them to knock you out. It's when your chin's up that you get knocked out. After this, yes, thank you. On my website, I'm redesigning both websites, that 89tigers.com. That has a lot of videos from the past, hundreds, and different things. And then pasquinelli.com has a lot of the newer ones. I'm going to redo them both so that you can access everything. Pull it in, plus a whole bunch more. Hopefully I'm gonna find some other people who can join me on this journey of teaching martial arts to anybody who wants to learn for free. So this is that reverse spin, and it's to the side. This is on the other one. Thank you. And by the way, if you're on one of those websites and you happen to see an ad for something that you are interested in, click it. I'll make 2 cents maybe. But those 2 cents can add up for enough to at least pay for the websites, for the hosting and all that stuff. And I appreciate that. So front and back, and you can see I'm getting more speed by making small movements in my hips. But the key is, if your abs aren't tight, thank you, really appreciate that. Abs not tight, you're not going to be able to go fast. You're going to create a lot of potential for injury in the joint because you're leaving all of that energy here. When you squeeze the abs and you engage your core, you're now going through your joint, through the spine, through your hips and your legs, all the way into the floor. That's what a good martial arts stance does. But a good martial arts stance really is just proper stance and engaging the core. So now you're going faster and faster with a little move of the hip, but that's because this is tight. So squeeze, and you have to be able to hold this up and in without holding your breath. That's something I gotta mention, because that's the first thing that occurs to us is holding the breath. So breathing tightly, increasing speed, faster and faster. Then back to a spin, and I want to immediately go into wrist rolls because they seem really hard, and they're not hard to understand. It requires calming down, allowing yourself. Didn't you already ask me that, Vic? And I said yes. And I know which one it is. I'm giving you my best. I'm going to save it for you. I haven't even been using it that much lately. Yeah, you did. And I said yes. I think. I forget all the time. I may have not. I may have thought of it. Maybe we're both thinking the same thing. We're on a universal wavelength, right? There are no new ideas. They're just recirculated through our heads since the beginning of man. All right. So what you're doing is you're going pinky up, open the hand, allow it to balance, turn your hand gently. Come back the other way, come back the other way. Here to here. It's just balance. That's all it is. And again, by putting a piece of tape in the center of your staff, so what you do is you just find your center point. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completely balanced, but about the center. Put a piece of tape there that's going to catch your eye, and that's going to visually help you when you make that spin, right? And if you keep going in the same direction and you end up with something like this, which is a super long side, a very small side, and you ask the question, how does he do that on the video where his hand seemingly stays in the middle the whole time and mine is going like this? And the answer is super simple. It's when it gets here, I'm opening my hand very slightly and allowing it to slide and then closing it when it's there. So with that tape there, you're adjusting. It's going to allow you to make those adjustments and make them more naturally and instinctively. And you'll stop thinking about it, and then someone will say, hey, how do you keep your staff in the middle? And you'll have to think, how do I do that? And you're like, oh, that's right. I'm sliding it in the middle. And then you can pass on this trick. This is why we do this. This is our global virtual dojo. This is how we all stay connected. You teach somebody after I teach you. So it's there, simply slide your hand. I want you to go one side and then go back the other way. And don't worry so much about whether your hand's perfectly in the middle. It doesn't need to be on this one. Just get that motion, put it in the other hand. 30 seconds doing it here. Slow is smooth. Smooth is perfect. Yeah, I think it's awesome, right? Especially right now. If you have a choice to stay on Facebook or in other social media and read and post everybody's opinion, which is the worst place to put it, but most people put it there, or watch a lot of news, it'll lead to stomach cancer, right? You'll be angry, you'll be upset, you'll be frustrated all the time. So instead, buy an extra staff and teach your wife, like Vic's doing. That's brilliant, right? And now, Instead of saying, did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you see the other person? You see what they're doing over here? You see what's happening over there? You can say, hey, how's your wrist roll coming? You want to work on it? Let me show you what I learned today. Good, I'm glad she does. I find it like a moving meditation. It's therapeutic. All right, so we did wrist roll to wrist roll, go back into your figure eight, and then add a wrist roll to a wrist roll. So now you're going to do wrist roll outside, wrist roll inside, and what that looks like is when this is my left hand, what's on the left side of the body. Perfect. I appreciate that. Tell her I said thank you. Open the hand. So when it's on the left side of the body in the forward spin, it's going over your pinky. When it's on the right side of the body, this is the left hand, the opposite side, in the forward spin, it's going over the thumb side. You're going to do that for 30 seconds, and then into the other hand, same thing. Spinning one side, and then to the other side, other hand up. I've already whacked my elbows, both elbows, at least 3 times. I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe you saw the first one because it kind of made me wince. And the reason is, my hand is here, and look what that does to my elbow, right? I'm exaggerating, but it does that even a little bit, because I like to spin tight to my body. Even a little bit puts it there. Now, why is my hand here when I know it's supposed to be here? I'm tired today, right? And when you're tired, train anyway. It's a perfect opportunity to grow when you do something and you're really not in the mood, or your energy level's low, or you're super sore. I did these things with a heavy kettlebell yesterday. I loved it at the time, and I love it even more now because I'm super sore. And it's been the end of a long, good, fun week. Lots of new classes, lots of different age groups, lots of different things, which is what feeds my soul. And I'm worn out, I'm tired. But think about it. If you're defending yourself, it's that point there when things are difficult, when things are uncomfortable, that's when you need to focus and go for it. Fight's not over till you win. So training when it's not perfectly ideal, that's why I love to spin in the rain, right? People say, when you spin in the rain, my staff is wet, and then it slides all over the place. Yes, that's why I love it, right? All right, now to the reverse. I'm doing the reverse across my body, but I'm also going to do the wrist roll still. But I wanted you to do this because you'll find that you've just reversed everything, but it still works. Wrist roll to wrist roll just puts in the opposite side, the pinky, and the same side, the hand. So it's simply just the opposite side. So 30 seconds with one hand, the other hand, wrist roll, and I don't know if you can see my feet. This is the left hand, my left foot's forward. When I'm spinning the right hand, my right foot's forward. If I'm moving forward, I'm not going to think about it too much. You're going to instinctively start to do it correctly. But when you have the left hand spinning, put your left foot in front of the right. If I'm here, I'm a wide person anyway. I'm already wider than most people. If you ever meet me in person, you might think to yourself, that dude is really wide. He's huge. And I am. I'm not as big as Shaquille O'Neal, but I want to see him. I want to hang out with him and get a picture with him so I can say to people, see, look, even Shaquille O'Neal doesn't make me look tiny, but he might. I could be completely wrong. All right, I'm going on one side. There's a huge, I digress. And then the other side. So 30 seconds there, and then you're going to go to the side again. The style or the staff. The monkey staff, I'm assuming you're talking about Jake Mace again, maybe, where he has that long, thin, it's made out of a very flexible wood, like a white wax wood. You can, if you check the link below, you can see all those staffs. And then he has tape on one end, so it's a little heavier and it's more flexible. Your rattan staff can do all those same moves that the monkey staff can. Monkey staff is just a name for it. Monkey staff is usually a little bit longer. Just like everything, Vic. Learn it all. Why not, right? A lot of the things you're doing now are going to apply immediately. And then because it has some unique features like length, like a thicker side and a thinner side, which just represents that it's a sapling coming out of the ground that someone cut, right? It's a tree, baby tree, is what a monkey staff is. then you'll learn a couple new moves. But you'll have such a solid foundation that it'll be fun. They're small variations. It's not as different as, like, let's say you went to the Joe. The Joe's going to have a lot of unique moves that the monkey staff doesn't have. Thank you. All right, so you're going to the front of the body and the back of the body. Yeah, we can work on it. I'll get one. It's been a while since I've had all the Kung Fu weapons, but I used to have all the Kung Fu weapons. I'm rebuilding my stock since I don't have the same school anymore. All right, so I did that forward. Do that same thing forward. We're doing a lot of figure eights and a lot of wrist rolls today. And this is all about proprioception or spatial awareness. Every once in a while, you're going to drop it. I just threw my hand out. Did you see that? Just naturally, so it didn't pop up and hit me in the face. You'll start doing that stuff, and you're like, oh, okay. I can handle my staff. And then sometimes you'll miss, and it'll still hit you in the face. And then you'll say, oh, where was I distracted? It's good feedback. It's always something that you're doing. That's why martial arts weapons are perfect. That's 100% my fault, right? When I drop it, I can't blame anybody else. I have to take responsibility. All right, back into the first hand, and that's a good message, because if I take responsibility, the next step is I can change it. I have control over it. If I don't like my results, I can do something about it. If I'm always blaming someone else, I can never do anything about it. I can't change the way you think. I can bitch or complain and moan. See, I told you it's Friday. My filters are thin today. But you get my point. Take responsibility for everything. And it's not easy. We all have habits. We go back into it. So this is that negative or reverse spin and that reverse wrist roll. And then the other hand. And the whole purpose here is just to get a lot of reps today on wrist rolls and figure eights. I want you to have wicked strong shoulders. You're going to get that with a lot of these figure eight spins. I don't know if you can see it's moving differently around the back. And it's simply because I did not take off my watch. It's trying to get around my watch. So if you can take off your watch, if it's Friday and you don't feel like it, and you're like, I'm just going to work around my watch, go for it. Nothing wrong with that. Now, overhead, from side to side. I'm going to go here to here. And you know what? I am going to raise the camera. Hang on. Close your eyes if you need to so you don't get dizzy. We're just going up. There we go. Hello, it's good to see you. Overhead. I want your elbow straight today. This is a really common thing that happens a lot. We're going to talk two things today. Something, this is brand new. Something I haven't said before in a video. And this is about whacking yourself in the head on the overhead behind the back. Because I keep getting the same kinds of questions, and I started thinking about it. Why are they asking the same questions about hitting themselves in the head overhead? And I didn't think about it because I've done it for so long. And I watched a bunch of students here in person. Good morning. And I immediately, I'm like, oh, that's why. Because they're hitting themselves in the head. And so that's why they don't want to do it. And that's why it's more difficult. But I had an immediate solution because all I had to do was watch what was happening and think about it, which is how it works, right? So if your hand is straight, number one, you're not going to hit yourself because it's just too far away. So I want you to warm up here, and I'll give you the second reason in just a minute. So you're going out and out. Now this move you've already done in the warm-up. It's exactly the same as this, simply done overhead. So I want you to do this for 30 seconds, and also really think about your abs. Pull your stomach up and in, up and in, think of whoop. And the idea is up in toward your diaphragm or your heart and your lungs, and back, your belly button back in toward the spine. Now, after 30 seconds, if you've been doing this for a couple weeks, you're going to tell me right now that it's not that hard for you anymore. But at the beginning, this was really wearing out your shoulders. But again, this is to build strength in that whole joint. So you have rock solid, bulletproof shoulders. Now, the second thing about going behind the back and not whacking yourself in the back of the head happens from here to here. If you look from here to here, my staff is parallel to my body, right? Or perpendicular to the floor. My body's perpendicular to the floor like a tree growing up, which means my staff has to be. If I'm here, it's now horizontal, and it is cutting through my center, or cutting through the body, which means smacking the back of your head. So what I saw was, as you're coming out here, people are coming down and they're turning too soon, and they're hitting themselves there. See that? They're turning too soon. And so what I want you to practice is here, straight down. Now you're still going to be turning the whole time. It's just you're going to be adjusting when the turn happens. So from here, what was happening was the elbow was either too bent, and so you're hitting yourself from the thumb side, or you had the straight elbow and you were turning too soon, and you were over-rotating because the weight of the staff was pulling on your wrist, and you were whacking yourself when you came back here. I saw those two things this week, twice. And I said, that's it. That's exactly what's happening to you. That's why you keep asking me about over the head, behind the back. Because when you did it the first time, and it brings tears to your eyes when you do it with a really hard, because inside this is one of those red oak staffs. And I'm going to get the big one. Much harder, much heavier. That really hurts. So now I have this one. I have this over my head, but I've never hit myself in the head, over the head, behind the back, that I can remember, which means I probably did over and over again when I was younger and first starting out. But the reason that you're doing it is either here, elbow bent, or too much rotation here before you get it behind your back. So the way you're going to fix this today is you've done this for 30 seconds to build that strength, and then you're going to slowly bring it down, and as you bring it down, don't turn it until you get it here, behind your back, and then turn it up. See how my thumb is going up? So I'll show you from behind. So I pull it out, turn it, thumb is going up, but it doesn't turn until you get here, and then you pull it all the way out. Same rule. I'm going to pull it out without a rotation. Then the rotation is going to happen over your head. Pull it out. Make the rotation happen behind your back. No more rotation until you're over your head again. And some of you have already figured this out and fixed it, right? But this is just if you haven't yet. So you're going overhead, behind the back, gradually increasing your speed, trying to keep the tears and the watering out of the eyes, from smacking yourself with your big staff, and then go the other way. Behind the back, over the head, behind the back, over the head. The other thing that's happening too is you're really getting stronger, more flexible shoulders. Give yourself more time. You have to, that's what we call grace, right? We think grace is just calmness under pressure. That's only one half of grace. The other half is when you stink at something. Almost lost my filter again. You really stink. You're not good at it. And you're patient with yourself. You keep doing it anyway. Or you do something and you look silly and ridiculous in front of everybody else. I was working with the middle schoolers yesterday, and I had a leadership class, and I was doing this thing, and the boy said, if I do that, I'm going to look silly. And I said, yeah, you are. You're going to look really silly. I said, but everybody else is doing it too, so you're all going to look silly together. So do it. That's great. Sometimes that's grace. That's suck it up, do it anyway. But you have composure when you do that, right? So allow yourself, get your ego out of the way, and allow yourself to not be good, it's not going to look like mine. If you were almost 50 years old and you started picking this thing up when you were 6 or 7, and you've been spinning ever since and never missed a workout, well, I've missed some, but mostly never missed a workout, and you've been blessed to train with some of the best staff people in the world, then you're going to look like this. And you're gonna look like this too. This is the other half of it. People see things and they think, oh man, I wish I could do that. Well, you can. You just have to figure out how did they do it, emulate that, do those things, and then you will. If I can do it, you can do it. That's the point. And there's no, yeah, I know you are. I've seen it. You guys have been sending me your videos, pasquinelli at hotmail.com or info@quantumstrong.com. I want to see your videos. Excuse me. I also had a lot of allergies this week. Lots of reasons, no good excuses not to train, right? Behind the back, over the head. And now, back to the front, one hand, because I want you to learn how to spin the staff with one hand and two hands. We're doing finger rolls. I'm glad I picked up the thicker staff. This is the thickest one I have right now. So I'm just spinning. Yeah, of course. I would love to see it in the comments. Send all your, send it to me any way you want, any way that makes sense to you. I'm flexible. I don't always get to check the Facebook that much, but if you do send it on Facebook, I will see it eventually. If you want to email it to me, if you want to stick it in the comment section, I love that. It's perfect. I try to read those and comment, and I get behind, but my goal anyway is to read through all of them. 30 seconds per hand, that's a continuous spin. So you're just walking it through each finger. Let me try to slow it down and show you where it starts. My hand is closed, I turn it down, my thumb and finger now have it. That means these three fingers, because my hand was closed, just pull out of the way and go behind, and then I keep it moving. Yeah, send your video to me in the comments. Anything that's inappropriate. There are a lot of spammers out there right now. You might see some of those comments and they're obviously inappropriate. I remove those as soon as I see them. As long as it's appropriate. As long as it adds to the conversation, right? And you don't have to like me or agree with me. That's liberating. That means I don't have to like you. Remember that. People get stuck on that all the time. They want to be liked by everybody, and it's not your fault. It's the way you're raised. Mommy said, make friends with everybody. Mommy said, share your Play-Doh. Mommy said, and then you go to school, and the kindergarten teacher starts saying, friends, okay, friends, line up at the door. Friends don't push each other. Friends do this, friends do that. And then you get confused. You're like, friends? That little kid over there keeps making fun of me and teasing me and taking my stuff. He punched me in the eye last week, and he pushed me down and stole the soccer ball. That guy's my friend? No. You don't have to like him either. He obviously has an issue. Either he doesn't like you or he's got bad habits. Either one is okay because it's not you, right? But you can still be polite, kind, honest, disciplined, focused. You can treat him with kindness, but also put your hands up and say, hey, buddy, back up. You don't have to like me, but you can't talk to me like that. You don't have to like me, but you can't touch me. You have that right. And when I keep calling everybody friends, that gets confusing. But if I say classmates, oh, and I'm the teacher, you're the student. We don't have to be friends, right? We have to be respectful toward each other, but understand the roles that we all are required to play. And then later we become friendly with each other. Later we start to enjoy each other's company. That can only happen if it's done naturally. And when it's not, it's just confusing. And people don't know how to speak up for themselves. All right, after that continuous roll, go into a 3-finger roll, which means when you get to the pinky and the ring finger, it comes over the back of those 3. The thumb takes over, grabs it, and continues the roll. Once it gets to here, grab it, roll. Little interruption there. Grab it, roll it. 3 fingers. Other hand, watch again, 1, 2, 3. When it's at the end, those 3, the thumb takes it, continues the spin. 30 seconds per hand. And why finger rolls? And I get these questions, it's a great question. Why would I do finger rolls? That looks dangerous, like I might drop it a lot if I'm defending myself in a fight. And the answer to that is that you're extending your hand. It's conditioning. You're conditioning your hand, your arms, your wrist to stay healthy and strong so that when you strike, block, strike, when you need to defend yourself with your staff, because I want you to be able to do that, most importantly, your hands are strong and healthy. You don't have tendinitis. You don't have trigger finger. because of the arthritis. It's hand health, it's joint health. So finger rolls, they're fun, they're cool, they look good when you start spinning, like if you want to do your freestyle flow, which I call moving meditation. We're going to do that at the end. It's a great transition move, but mostly it's to keep your hands strong, give you more options to defend yourself. Because martial arts at its core is fighting for self-defense. All right, now go into your forward spin. One foot in the front is my left hand, so the left foot's in front. I'm going to do a finger roll into a wrist roll. Finger roll, wrist roll, finger roll, wrist roll. And then if you want to reverse it, and sometimes you're ready to, this is a wrist roll here, which means the finger roll is going to happen over there. And that's just going to be a level up for you. If you know how to do the basics, going backward on these things are going to really open your understanding, increase your understanding of how these things move, and build your skills faster. So try that reverse spin into a wrist roll on the outside or the same side, and the finger roll on the inside. Try to slow it down. And then same thing, the other hand, forward spin, finger rolls on the same side, wrist rolls on the inside. And then once you do that for 30 seconds, reverse it, wrist rolls into your finger rolls. Good, and that should be a little bit challenging. Some of you, I'm gonna tell you the secret to Vic. Vic was on here, and he sends me these videos all the time, and I'm watching him. He's leveling up at the speed of light. He's getting so good, so fast, and it's because of daily practice. It's not because he has any more talent than anybody else. No offense. Talent is almost a curse. Yeah, an hour a day. Talent is a curse. When I grew up in this martial arts school, one of the winningest schools in the world, right? And the instructor was an Olympic coach. Grew up with these Olympic champions. None of them had talent. And we would attract the talented people from around the country because they wanted to come to the winningest school. The talented people always got to one level because they got there without hard work. This is the point. They got there without any challenge. They got there without any friction. They got there, it just came to them like this. And then they fought the guy who had to blood, sweat, and tears his way all the way up, who was not good, not talented. He and she, both men and women fighters. And then when they got to this level and they were both good, he's good because of talent, he's good because his mind is wicked strong, and he's never given up and he's never quit, and he's been knocked out and knocked down and broken a million times, had to get back up and keep going. This kid's never faced challenge. Who do you think wins? It's obvious, right? That's it. So talent is a curse, in my opinion. I have no talent that I know of. Everything that I have that I'm good at, and I'm good at a lot of stuff, I found a way. Maybe my only talent is not giving up, not quitting, right? Einstein said that. He said, I'm not smarter than anybody. I just stay with the problem longer. And that's why Vic's getting so good so fast. He can do the reverse wrist roll into the finger roll, almost missed it, because he's staying with the problem longer. That's it. But that's all you need. And that's liberating. That's powerful. That's the most important thing in the world, is never quitting, never giving up. Just keep doing it. It is for Napoleon Dynamite. Other than that, I'm not sure. All right. So back to my train of thought. You're now ready to start working on bow staff flow. I know you've been doing this for a while. When you do it today, I want you to go slow at first and just do the basic moves, right? Forward spins and stepping back with forward spins. Forward spins, and do this for just a little bit, and then turn around and walk backward in a reverse spin, and then forward and back with reverse spin. So I want you to feel, and you probably already know this, but as soon as you turn around and face the other direction, your staff also spins in the other direction, the opposite of whichever direction. So now it's negative, a reverse spin, now it's forward spin. So that's first. Just give yourself time today in this exercise to reconnect with that idea, that basic theory. Turning changes the direction of the staff. Then, without adding anything new, I want you to turn your body 100 or 360 degrees, full turn, right? So when I'm going here, I'm turning 180 degrees, just going back. Now I want you to turn all the way around, slowly at first, very slowly. This is the new drill this week. All you're doing is turning all the way around, make a full turn. And if you got dizzy like I do, turn the other way. I get dizzy easily. I've learned how to handle it by breathing most of the time. Turning and then turning back the other way. Also, if you're looking down, you're going to get dizzy super fast. So get your eyes up on the horizon. See where you're going. So then go back to forward and reverse, turn, go the opposite direction, and then practice a full turn, and then practice a full turn going back the other way. And do it again. And your goal is to start going gradually faster, a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, until you're almost running forward, running backward, turning around, fighting back. You want to get good at the monkey staff. These turns, big part of the monkey staff. Because what do monkeys look like? They're bouncy, they're spinny, they're kind of all over the place. And that monkey staff, you start moving it, slapping the floor. Don't do that with your hardwood staff, by the way. You're going to break it. But do that with your rattan staff. Over the head, boom, pop to the ground, up, spinning, and turning. That's going to get you ready for the monkey staff. But just work on that first, and then when you're ready, you can throw in wrist rolls, and you can open up your freestyle to, yeah, you brought it up, why not? I'm going to add it. I love them. I love those Kung Fu movies. But yes, anyway, you were going to learn how to pop it to the ground. You were going to learn how to make it shake. You were going to learn how to jump in the air, spin, and face the other direction. You were going to learn all that. But do we learn that as a beginner? And while your arms and shoulders are still weak and not flexible and not strong, think about how much stronger you are now than when you started just a few months ago. And now your core is getting stronger. Your flow is starting to get better. Now's the time we can start to work on more flashy, cool stuff. Spear too, because a lot of the moves, especially monkey staff, but a lot of the moves that you learn on the Kung Fu side are done both with the regular staff and with the spear. So we want to learn how to use it as a spear. I was watching one of my favorite, I call him a mentor even though we don't talk. I watch his videos, so that makes him a mentor, right? I'm your mentor if you want that relationship. But Pat McNamara, I went to one of his courses a couple years ago. Wow, time flies. And I learned so much, and I've been following him for a while over on Instagram and YouTube. And he's got a YouTube channel, Pat Mac. T-Max Inc. is his business. But he's a former Delta operator. If you know anything about Special Forces, you know what Delta is, CAG, right? And so this guy is at the highest level of the highest level. They call that Tier 1. But he's showing, in his video, yes, he calls it basic dude stuff or something. It's a funny thing. And he does different things for basic dude stuff. Anyway, but he was saying that tying a knife on the end of a long stick with some paracord is basic dude stuff. Basically, he just made a spear. And you can use it to spear a fish. You can use it to stop a bear, maybe a small bear. Or maybe, get a pheasant or, a snake or a frog while you're out in the woods, in the wilderness, so you can eat. That's my assumption is what he was saying. Or obviously, it's a good self-defense option for self-defense if you have no other option. That guy's got a knife. He's got a knife at the end of your 6-foot staff. I put my odds on you, or my money's on you. And I'm mostly joking, but I'm mostly not. And I forget my point now. Oh, I know what it is. That a lot of the moves that we do for self-defense with the staff, you're also going to do with the spear. Or I can't think of it now, the Japanese, the one with the long, that's always affixed. It's not a spear, it's a, you see it a lot in ninja movies. the naginata, the long thing with the thing on the end. And then you have all those cool kung fu weapons that have the big blade on them. And so a lot of the moves, a lot of the turning, a lot of the spinning are all the same moves. So we're gonna learn all that, Vic. So that's your answer, yes. All right, so let's quickly review your homework, because I want you to do this weekend if you can. It's just moving forward by turning, spinning, and then turning around, changing directions, and then that full 360. And I want you to go one way, go the other way, and do that again and again and again until that gets one or two things. Either you get really good at it or you get really dizzy. And you have to stop doing it because you're turning too much. Check yourself, see if you're looking down. If you're looking down, you're gonna get really dizzy fast, because when your eyes are down, you lose the horizon and your brain can't make that calculation to keep you from the world spinning. So it's like if you're on a boat and it's going like this in the ocean and you're looking down thinking, oh my gosh, we're gonna drown, right? Or sink. If you look out at the horizon, it gets rid of a lot of that. Yes, for sure, we all do, right? Because it changes your posture, it makes you more efficient, you're a lot better. It's just because you're thinking. Second, once you get to that point, then start adding in wrist rolls and finger rolls, and then go behind your back. And you can go behind your back while you're turning, by the way, over the head, and then the other way, and work on your flow. Just start putting one technique after the next, but be patient with yourself. If you don't look the way you think you're supposed to look, get over yourself, get rid of your ego, push it out of the way. That's just a sign you're focused on the wrong thing. You're thinking about me. Why do I do this? Why do I look that? Not me, but you, me, right? And so instead, think about where you should be. If you imagine that you're your student, you're an imaginary student of you, and you start yelling at your student, you're like, why aren't you learning any faster? Why when the teacher came out and showed us this, why are you doing it like that? Why are you not as fast? And if you started talking to a student like that, if they had any sense at all, and they were old enough, they'd look at you and say, what's your problem, man? I'm out of here. I'm gonna go find somebody who's a little bit more patient with me as the student. Because what do you expect? I just picked it up. I'm not supposed to be that good. And that's you. You are that person who needs a little bit of grace, a little bit of patience, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of, if you keep going, you're gonna get it. But me criticizing you, telling you how much you stink, is not gonna make you any better. That's just gonna make, it might, and some people are like, that's the only way I can motivate myself. Okay, that's the only way you can motivate yourself in the past. Why don't you grow up and move to a new level and find a way, because the way you talk to others is the way you talk to yourself. And the same is true the other way around. The way you're talking to yourself is gonna come out when you start working with others. So if you're really critical of yourself, stop it, right? Change your habits. Start to say, man, I'm not there yet, but if I keep moving in that direction, I'm gonna be so good. I can't do it yet. I don't have enough time yet, but I'm gonna start making some more time. And whatever it is, change your language, change the words, because you're listening. And when you're saying it in your head, you're saying it 1,000 times a minute. And how long could you do this with me standing there? Is that the best you got? What's wrong with you? You can't spin straight. Do you have weak hands? What are you, a little baby? I don't, all of the criticisms that you're doing to yourself. If I'm standing there yelling at you like that, you'd be like, I'm out of here, man. Like that. I love this one. That's my favorite. When I'm done, right? I can't think of the last thing I was done with, though. There's always something more. If you want to, work on your wrist strength, and then call it a day. Pick it up again tomorrow, and I'll see you guys the next time we do this. This is a long weekend, but I'm going to try to be in here and try to make these every day, because I want to really keep this series going. You guys are so awesome. Please check the links below. Send me those videos. When you get them done, send them to me. I'll see you. Have a great weekend, and maybe in a couple minutes. I don't know.